Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ask Cindy. If you're new here, I'm Cindy, and this is a place where we dive deep into healing, self love, and real talk about relationships, spiritual and personal. Now, today's episode is going to hit hard. And I'm talking to you if you've ever felt trapped in an intense, fiery connection. You know the one where everything feels electric in the worst way possible. The highs are the sky high types, but those lows, crushing. You find yourself constantly walking away from that person, yet you can't seem to stay away for good. You might even tell yourself, this is my twin flame. I'm supposed to be with them. But what if I told you that this intensity, this pattern, walking away, isn't love? It's trauma? Today I'm going to show you why so many people are mistaking passion for passive emotional abuse and why it's time to walk away for good. Let's dive in, shall we? Let's be real. If you've ever walked away from someone only to circle back into their arms, you've probably heard the twin flame narrative. It goes something like, you can't help it. It's destined. The intensity means it's real love. And the first time it happens, it feels almost magical. The emotional rush, the chemistry, the connection, it's addictive. In fact, that's exactly what it is. It's the addiction mirror. If you haven't seen my other episodes on attraction explained through the mirrors of relationship, please go back and check it out. But I digress. Here's the thing. Intensity is not the same as love. I've been there. That intense connection is often a trauma bond, not a divine relationship. And walking away doesn't mean you're wrong or that you'll never find love. It means you have the courage to step away from something unhealthy. The problem with the twin flame narrative is that it romanticizes toxic cycles. The chaos, the uncertainty, the emotional burnout. It convinces you that walking away is somehow a failure, that you're abandoning your destiny. But what if walking away is actually your greatest act of self-love, an act of self-respect, or what you're supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, relationships are supposed to teach you how to love yourself, even the bad ones. And you need to know, if you're going to understand anything at all, that love is a mirror and that the relationship and the things that you tolerate determine how the other person's going to treat you. And if you let someone walk all over you, well, that's exactly what they're going to do. You are the source of it, after all. You really need to pay attention to that. The relationship with yourself and what you tolerate determines how everyone treats you. And so it's very important to be looking at that, not just enabling things. Here's the uncomfortable truth no one's talking about. The whole twin flame narrative is built on a few key misconceptions. Did you know that the twin flame idea didn't come into widespread awareness until the 2000s? Yeah, it's a fairly recent addition to the spiritual world. And it's been used to sell the idea that intensity equals love. But in reality, intensity often signals the presence of unresolved trauma. Think about it. The push-pull dynamics of twin flame, quote unquote, is rooted in a deep sense of attachment trauma. You may walk away only to feel drawn back in again and again because the pull is familiar. It's the emotional high and low that keeps you coming back for more. But there's a catch. That's not love. That's an emotional addiction. You're not healing. You're getting stuck in a cycle of emotional pain. So how do you break free from this? How do you stop falling into this emotional trap? Well, first, I want you to understand something. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're giving up on love. It means you're stepping into your power. Here's how to start. First, recognize the pattern. The next time you feel the pull to go back, ask yourself, am I walking away because it's the right thing for me or because the intensity is pulling me back into chaos? Second, understand your attachment style. The key to really loving and respecting yourself and being treated well is knowing who you are and knowing what makes you tick. Understanding your attachment style is key because it's really determining what you're attracted to. If you feel the need to always fix someone or get emotionally tangled in their issues, that's a sign you're repeating something unhealthy. Should also know that nature doesn't really care about your feelings, it only cares about balance. So there's inexplicable forces, actually, they can be explained very easily, that will draw you towards your opposite energy. So if you're a withdrawer, you're going to attract clingy people. If you're someone who's clingy, you're going to attract withdrawers, and you're going to feel so intensely wowed by them. And this has nothing to do with love and everything to do with attachment styles. Please learn about them. Next, embrace your worth. Your worth isn't tied to someone else's actions. If you're constantly walking away, it's because you deserve better. You have the courage to say no to something that isn't nourishing you. Please remember that the way that you behave with your soul is determining how you're treated. If you keep allowing people to abuse you, walk all over you, be disrespectful to you, all of these things, it's going to continue to happen until you reach your breaking point. At some point, you're going to want to walk away. You shouldn't be the one sacrificing yourself. That's the main thing. I don't care how nice you think you are or how understanding you think you should be. You begin with yourself. This is key. This is absolute key. Because that's determining how and what you're going to receive from others. Next, please learn to let go. Letting go, I know, it can feel terrifying because it's what you're familiar with. Again, if you haven't seen my episode on attraction explained, and if you don't realize that sometimes the reason you're drawn to someone is because it's what's familiar, because you're attracted to your home energy, and if it wasn't healthy in childhood, then this might feel like an intense connection when it's not. It's just your unresolved childhood wounds seeking completion. That which is unresolved in you is going to seek completion. So that might be the reason this feels so terrifying, why you feel so wowed by someone who isn't good for you. So I know that. You might even think you'll regret it, but here's the truth. You can't regret creating a space for real love. Letting go doesn't mean closing your heart. It means opening up to something healthier. Be willing to do that. So here's the challenge for you today. If you find yourself walking away again and again from the same toxic pattern, I want you to stop. Stop re-entering the cycle. Let the space stay empty for a while. And in that emptiness, start to listen to your own heart, your own intuition, and your own worth. You don't have to keep chasing after something that hurts you. You don't have to keep going back to someone who isn't ready to show up for you in a way you deserve. The love you've been searching for, it starts within. You are your own twin flame. You are the source in the mirror that's going to be mirrored back. And if you aren't good to yourself, you're not going to attract people that are good to you. It is so basic and so simple that I don't understand why this is so difficult for some people to understand. Why they keep tolerating things that they shouldn't. But I tell you what, if you behave like someone who loves themselves, you will be loved. It's you first, then them. You are the source of what you receive. And the relationship with yourself is determining everything else. So if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever had to walk away from a toxic connection? How did it feel? And what did you learn? I hope you learned how to love yourself better. That was the point. Sometimes you're going to have to learn to appreciate the painful lessons. But at the end of the day, the only way they had any value is if you learned your lessons from them. And remember, if you're ready to break free from these patterns, I am here for you. Reach out for support and let's create a space for true love to come in. This is what I do best. Please feel free to make an appointment anytime. I look forward to connecting with you. Thanks for watching.